The gentleman from Maryland reserves. The gentleman from New York is recognized.
I also have no further speakers and am prepared to close.
The gentleman from Maryland is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. This legislation, which promises to be the first of many, we know that I think tomorrow criminal justice reform comes up. I know that the MAGA wing of the Republican Party doesn't like Medicaid-funded abortions in Washington, D.C. They don't like the stricter gun safety laws that the people of Washington, D.C. Have passed. They don't like their progressive legislation protective of the LGBTQ community and so on. And so we're headed now for a mini culture war between the dominant MAGA wing of the Republican conference today and the people of the District of Columbia, who find themselves in an odd situation because they want to be admitted to the Union the way 37 states have been admitted to the Union after the original 13 were. And that means, by the way, that 3/4 of the states, nearly 75% of the states, came in after the original 13. They appealed to Congress to use our powers under Article 4 of the Constitution to admit new states. They have exercised their powers under the First Amendment and under the Ninth Amendment and under the 10th Amendment to organize a new statehood constitution and to petition for admission to the Union. Now, we haven't, our muscle memory is weak here because it hasn't happened since Hawaii and Alaska. But my friends, Thomas Jefferson thought that this was the destiny of communities under the United States of America. We would not be a colonial power that would continue to lord over people perpetually. On the contrary, when he talked about the Northwest Ordinance, he said, as sufficient population formed and as commitment to democratic principles were realized, these new communities would be admitted as states. And I think as a matter of basic civic respect and self-respect, we owe the people of Washington our attention when they are asking for admission to the Union. These are people who pay more per capita in federal taxes than anybody in the country, more in hard dollars, I believe, than the people of 18 or 20 states. They've served in every war that America's ever fought. They're subject to the military draft. It's just that when Eleanor Holmes Norton, the distinguished professor of constitutional law from Georgetown University, comes to this floor, she comes as a non-voting delegate, and there's no representation and no voice over in the Senate. Well, that's an offense to basic democratic principles that we teach children in second grade. So we should be passing statehood again in the 118th Congress, the way we passed it in the 117th, the way we passed it in the 116th, and we should get the Senate to focus on it. But short of that, the very last thing we should be doing is rolling back the rights, the limited rights that the people of Washington have to exercise